I am Aaron Cole, and you are listening to the Cole Report, coming to you from the belly of the beast, FEMA Region 6. If you'd like to get a hold of me, the best way to do that is via Twitter, at RealCole88. At RealCole88 is my handle over there. If you're into the email thing, you can do that by reaching me via aaroncole1988 at gmail.com. And that is via email at aaroncole1988 at gmail.com. So, I am back from vacation, had a nice week off. I did record a show. It was about like an hour long, but it just wasn't nailing it or doing anything remotely close to what I think I can do. So I just put it in the file, save it for never, I guess. Maybe when I die, whoever gets a hold of my external hard drives, they can have it, I guess. But we're back in this week, and what a crazy week it was last week with all the bank stuff, of course. And then I guess over the weekend was the Trump stuff of him coming out and saying that he's going to be going to jail, which, I mean, he's rich, he's powerful, so he probably knows some people that might know some stuff about this, but I find it just strange that he would know, and the media's keeping it quiet. So for a couple days there, I was thinking he's just doing this for publicity, and it still might be the case. I guess we'll see tomorrow and then in the coming weeks, and we're going to get into that. That'll kind of be the main chunk of the show today. But I guess first up, do I think he's going to go to jail tomorrow? No, I do not think that. I have some other ideas, though, which are basically, I expect him to come out and say, I've been arrested to selling you some new NFTs or something like that. And I was thinking that real hard. The only thing that's made me kind of reconsider this was the barricades and stuff like that. But let's get into kind of what's going on here. So Alvin Bragg, he is the DA. He's a Soros-funded DA, so we have to take that into consideration. We don't have to put on, tinfoil hats or go into conspiracy land to know what George Soros is about. Some of the people that he's funded to get into different parts of the government and get into DA offices and shit like that, like in San Francisco, for example, with Chesa Bowden or whatever that dude's name is. He has an agenda of basically trying to get DAs in that will let criminals off, and then these criminals go back out and they commit more crimes. Some of them are just robbery or something like that, but sometimes these people will pick up firearms and they'll point to these people and be like, hey, we got a firearm, we got a problem with guns in the country. But most of the time, these people that are committing these violent crimes with guns are people that have been let out of jail for many other crimes. So we know what Soros is about. We know what this DA is probably going to be up to. But and then also, besides that little part, I was just thinking, because he's been going after Ron DeSantis and stuff like that, I was thinking maybe he is doing this for publicity and stuff. So it's really, really confusing because you can see all the different sides about it. So let's get into it. So basically, these charges are over the Stormy Daniels thing. I guess he was doing something with The Apprentice or some shit like that, or Shark Tank, whatever the hell TV show he was on, and supposedly banged a porn star, and then he gave her some money to settle it. And this was several years before he ran for office. And this first kind of, I guess this kind of came up in 2016. I don't remember the exact dates on here, but to get into that, it definitely happened before 2016 or around 2016 in New York City. I think in the state, misdemeanors are only good for 2 years. Felonies are only good for 5 years, and then you go past the statute of limitations. The only way this could be extended this far is if it had something to do with campaign finances. Say like he paid her off for, for this deal, get him out of some blackmail or whatever. You could possibly look at it that way, but it's a stretch. And it's been kicked around. They've had a lot of expert people asked about this, and they're all saying in the past that it'd be a pretty far stretch. You could maybe get a grand jury to indict him on it, but he'll never go to jail for anything like this, nor should he. This is not the first time this has happened before. He's just basically settling a personal issue, and he's not raising money just to pay that off or something like that. It was only a couple $100,000. It wasn't anything that crazy. In fact, Bill Clinton in 1998 paid off Paula Jones for $800K. That's a lot of fucking money in 1998. That $100K, $800K, I mean, it's like dog shit. It might as well be like $800 these days. So that was a lot of money. Bill Clinton never heard anything about it, of course. And like I said, not the biggest Trump fan. Sure as hell not a Bill Clinton fan. If Bill Clinton didn't get in trouble for it, neither should Trump. It's that simple. And a lot of people they bring in their political baggage into it. And that's one of those things that just makes it just so much more frustrating. It's like, can we not just practice the law for everybody? You can't, though, because if they're a Republican and they do something illegal, it's bad. A Democrat does it, it's good, or vice versa. Whatever kind of the political spectrum you're on. When you see somebody else on the other side doing something bad, of course, you got to think they automatically got to be locked up, even though it's happened time and time again where, somebody from the other political persuasion is just doing the same kind of filthy shit. But say this has nothing to do with that kind of thing. I am wondering, and this could be just out of left field here, just this idea real quick. Let me pull this up. Biden today signed into law to declassify as much as possible of U.S. intelligence of the origins of COVID-19. This is what the press release here says. Today, I'm pleased to sign into law S619, the COVID-19 Origin Act of 2023. I share the Congress's goal of releasing as much information as possible about the origins of the coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19. In 2021, I directed the Intelligence Committee to use every tool at its disposal to investigate the origins of COVID-19. And that work is ongoing. We need to get to the bottom of COVID-19's origins to help ensure we can better prevent future pandemics. My administration will continue to review all classified information relating to COVID-19's origins, including potential links to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. I'm implementing this legislation. My administration will declassify and share as much of the information as possible, consistent with the constitutional authority to protect against the disclosure of information that would harm national security. So that got signed today. What if they do the whole pin the COVID tail on Trump's donkey? That would be very, very interesting. I think that's very unlikely at this point. If they could, though, that would be huge. It would be pretty groundbreaking. I think you can't really pin the origins of COVID-19 to Trump. This could all just be very interesting kind of a release of stuff. And I have no doubts in my mind that if this thing ever sees the light of day, this COVID-19 Origin Act, it's going to be just, you'll see like the, of, by, it, blah, blah. And it's all just going to be redacted black lines. You'll see a word, like about 3 words per page. The rest of it's all going to be redacted and shit like that. But that would be one of the more interesting theories going on with Trump. And like I said, they can't even really pin the vaccine thing on him. All they can do is just kind of shame him with that, of him really insisting on rushing it. All the the messing around with it in the past and all the whole legality of doing everything like that, that's going to fall on some other people. They'll probably fall on Biden, but maybe this is just kind of just one of those weird coincidence of timing that happens in the world, right? Like everything else going on in the world. So we'll see. That was just kind of one of my more crazy ideas. I was wanting to kind of float out there and see if anybody else kind of had a feeling about that. But I mean, we can go back to this just being kind of a political thing. Trump is still reacting to Ron DeSantis. He was actually getting questions about that, and he was being kind of quiet on it. I mean, it's not really his thing. He's just a governor. He hasn't even said he's running for president yet. He was giving a speech today in Florida about trying to outlaw CBDCs. I don't know the legality of that or what he can do with that in his state. There was all these governors, like even Greg Abbott in Texas, whenever Twitter was still being run by the other people, and I guess like Facebook and stuff too, that you can't ban political people and stuff like you. Then they were going to give them fines and shit. I don't know how much Ron DeSantis can do from Trump getting arrested by New York or whatever the hell would go into that. Trump just can't go to New York anymore or something. I don't know how that would even work, but you got to ask the question. It's kind of a long clip. We'll pause and take some breaks, but like I said, maybe Trump is just coming up with this ideas and just trying to stir some shit up, which would be kind of early, because last I checked, it is March 20th, 2023. The election isn't until November 2024, so maybe they're going to drag his ass to jail. But let's listen to Ron DeSantis. He's trying to give a speech about something different, and I'm not a Ron DeSantis fan either. I mean, it seems like he's doing good stuff, but all these people are shady, of course. You know the story. Let's listen to him.
Yes, ma'am.
Megan from the Board of Standards. I wanted to know what your thoughts are on the January 12th indictment, and if you have any role in maybe turning the powerful lot on him, if you have any role in
So I've seen rumors swirl. I have not seen any facts yet, and so I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know this: the Manhattan District Attorney is a Soros-funded prosecutor, and so he, like other Soros-funded prosecutors.
And isn't this kind of weird? They're asking about questions about stuff that hasn't happened yet. When does the media ever worry about shit that hasn't happened yet? Usually they're just like, hey, everything's fine, guys. Or, hey, everything's about to... I guess sometimes they say that everything's about to hit the fan too, but I don't know. You can't just throw hypotheticals at people when they're trying to do something completely different.
They weaponize their office to impose a political agenda on society at the expense of the rule of law and public safety. He has downgraded over 50% of the felonies to misdemeanors. He says he doesn't want to even have jail time for the vast, vast majority of crimes. And what we've seen in Manhattan is we've seen the crime rate go up, and we've seen citizens become less safe. And so you're talking about this situation with, and look, I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star to secure
There's like
silence
a subtle
over
jab back right
some
there.
type
I like
of alleged
that.
affair. I can't speak to that.
Because Trump's been throwing shit at Ron DeSantis, and it's all political theater, of course, but calling him Meatball Ron and shit like that. The Ron DeSanctimonious thing is just complete. Trump is just not good at the nickname stuff right now, but the Meatball Ron thing, that's kind of funny, I guess. But it's not the Ron DeSanctimonious thing. That's not the best kind of jab, but I love that jab back right there. That's kind of funny for the WWE kind of political theater here.
But what I can speak to is that if you have a prosecutor who is ignoring crimes happening every single day in his jurisdiction, wrong. I also think it's important to point out when you're talking about these Soros-funded prosecutors, yes, they may do a high-profile politicized prosecution, and that's bad, but the real victims are ordinary New Yorkers, ordinary Americans in all these different jurisdictions, that they get victimized every day because of the reckless political agenda that these Soros DAs bring to their job. They ignore crime and they empower criminals, and that hurts people. Hurts a lot.
It's all about Operation Chaos for sure. We'll jump right here to the end of it with like another 45 seconds left or so. I think that's when I didn't timestamp this, of course, but I'm not doing my job over here, but let's go to that part. Okay, all right. Well, the clip looks like it's not going to want to play anymore, so that is fine, but I think it's a very reasonable response to a hypothetical situation. There's some people out there saying that Ron DeSantis should be standing up for Trump and this kind of stuff, but like he's talking mad shit about him all the time, saying that Charlie Crist, I believe is that guy's name, that tried to run against DeSantis this last time in Florida, and I don't even think he made it to anywhere even remotely close to doing it. Ron DeSantis ran away with the whole race and everything, so the whole thing, I wouldn't really stand up for him either, really, that much. And like I said, I don't know how much you can really stop him from being extradited, especially if they try to bring up some kind of federal charge or something. We don't know what the charges are. We're just speculating about the Stormy Daniels thing, which seems like it's just a misdemeanor and all this other stuff. So none of it makes really sense. But we see these barricades out there today, so it seems like they do want to push some kind of buttons, get somebody out there protesting, or maybe this is just that weird timing, right? Just put your head in the sand and just let it kind of roll by you or something. But definitely, if Trump goes to jail tomorrow, don't go anywhere around the Manhattan criminal court or anything like that. Just stay away, because even if they do arrest him, he's not going to be held without bond or anything like that. Like, the motherfucker's trying to run for president. What is he going to do? Flee to some country with no extradition charges, no extradition to the United States for misdemeanor charges or something like that. So I think this is all just kind of smoke, honestly. It just seems like just kind of silly shit. I haven't really looked at where the Manhattan criminal court is at, if that's close to something else and the police are just dropping off barricades right there for something different. There could be, something more high profile going on there. We just don't know. It's just all speculation, but there's a lot of different angles, and I can see why people think that it might be going down, but just, everybody just stay calm. It'll be okay. Even if you're a Trump guy or gal or they, them, Trump, they, them person, just hang out. It'll be okay. He's not going to be executed he's going to be Epsteined in there, I'm pretty sure. And if he does, then he's been martyred, and, you can worry about that kind of stuff later, okay? There's bigger stuff, it seems like, kind of going on in the world than just this possible misdemeanor charges going on with Trump in New York. We got this Russia, China, Ukraine menage a trois going on. Xi flew into Russia. He hung out with Putin for almost 5 hours. They supposedly have some good structure on the deal to offer Ukraine. But we know that the United States doesn't want a deal that'll stop this war. They're making so many different plans going on here. Let me see if I can get this clip to work. I know the Ron DeSantis clip wasn't finishing up, so let's see if we can get this one to work here.
Ceasefire now, without a durable solution, would allow President Putin to rest and refit his troops and then restart the war.
And this is Anthony Blinken right here. I don't know, he's one of the people in the cabinet. I can't remember. I think he's with the Secretary of... I think he's not the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State or something. I can't remember. I can't keep all these people straight. I should know, but this is Blinken talking.
At a time more advantageous to Russia. The world should not be fooled by any tactical move by Russia, supported by China or any other country, to freeze the war on its own terms. Such a move would violate the UN Charter and defy the will of 141 countries who have condemned Russia's war in the United Nations General Assembly.
Okay, so we got that going on. So it seems like basically you're like, we know Russia, they already know what Russia's going to do, of course. Russia, you're not going to stop this war. You're just using this as a chance to rearm, regroup, and everything like that, and get this thing going again. So Xi flies in, meets with Putin. We've covered that. And what does the U.S. do today? What do we do today? We're going to send another $350 million worth of weapons to Ukraine. The EU pledges another 1 million artillery shells to Ukraine, which, bad news, guys, it's going to come in over the next year. So you got to ask yourself, is this war going to keep on going? I know some people are thinking it's winding down. Even just not that, a couple days ago, Ukraine said that they were open to Xi kind of trying to broker a peace deal. Every time the NATO people like Macron and these other shitheads from these NATO countries go and they try to talk to Putin, it never gets anywhere. So Ukraine was like, yeah, Xi, sure, come on. And then you hear Blinken say this. We know these facts. This isn't anything we need to really cover in any kind of detail again, that basically NATO is just holding a gun to Ukraine's head, making them fight. Hey, we're giving you shit. We're paying off the president. You keep on fighting. You will not take a peace deal until we say that you can, because, we got to stand for Ukraine. It's so obvious. And all the other multi-layered shit that goes on with that. But it seems like either we're getting this ready to fight Russia, or maybe they're expecting something else to go on in Europe. Maybe Germany's going to get unruly or something like that. I don't know, but anytime, even just the most unlikely way for this war to end, they won't even let that happen without just slam dunking it and then, poking the other side in the eye with another weapons package. And we got to keep the military industrial complex working and all that shit. Fucking Raytheon and Lockheed and all those guys, they need some more money. Their guys need another house or boat or whatever. So we're just going to keep on cranking it in, pulling this money out of our ass from somewhere that we don't really have, because we're bailing out banks. The Credit Suisse thing is off the rails. I don't have this article. I was just reading it somewhere today and I forgot to really pull it, but I think we kicked some money over to the EU to kind of help with that, because that was going to be tens of billions of dollars worth of bonds and shit that Credit Suisse is messed up with. So that would be real bad. What was that one? Oh, First Republic Bank, that went in the shitter again. The stock market, it was still going up today, even with all this other stuff going on. So it's just funny to watch that. I was going to go a little bit more, but my voice, I'm keeping having to pause this and cough and try to drink some water, but my throat's feeling like shit right now. So I'm just going to scroll through real quick and see if there's anything else really worth talking about that we can't get till to tomorrow or anything like that. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it, so I'm going to get out of here. Every time I say a couple words, my throat's feeling like shit, so I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a great day. We'll be back here in just a day or two. Let's watch and see what happens with this Trump thing. Do not show up protesting and shit like that, because we don't want to be J6'd again or anything like that. So stay home. Keep your head on you. It'll be okay. I don't anticipate anything that bad happening tomorrow. So y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time. Don't let the door hit you where Biden wants to split you. Peace.